With the OHL season ending so abruptly, everything just kind of grinded to a halt, and we didn't get to talk to a lot of people that we would really like to talk to at the end of the season. So I've gathered the 3 overagers from the Kitchener Rangers this past season: Jonathan Yantsis, Greg Meireles, and Liam Hawel, just to have a little final closing thought on their seasons and their amazing individual OHL careers. So guys, what I'll ask you first is let's talk about this season specifically, because there was quite a resurgence for the Kitchener Rangers at the midway point of the season, just before Christmas. Really with the coaching change when Mike McKenzie came in. Guys, when you look back on this season, what do you think about what you accomplished and what you perhaps could have accomplished? Greg, I'll start with you.
Yeah, we had a really good team, and we were obviously playing really well, so it was tough to see it just end like that quickly, and it was just tough how it ended, really. I mean, they said go home for 2 weeks and see what happens, but I don't think any of us thought that it was over, and especially for us, like being our last season, like our last chance to win. I know Liam already won once, but it would have been nice for Johnny and I to get another chance to win. So, just how it ended. It was really hard, but I think we could have won it for sure. We had a really good chance.
Jonathan, what about you?
It was pretty upsetting the way it ended. The team we had a lot of young kids that were great players, and we knew we could go on a deep playoff run. And then when they told us 2 weeks, we were all like, okay, it's going to be 2 weeks. We're going to come back. We're going to have like a little bit of training camp, and then we'll go into playoffs playing well, and hopefully we can get something done. But it was very upsetting the way it ended so abruptly.
And Liam, you know what it takes to be part of a championship team. Just the previous season with Guelph, how did this team compare to that? Was this team really on pace for a championship like that Storm team?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think when I was getting the news that I was coming to Kitchener, I knew this was a championship caliber team. And then even at the deadline, we brought in some even more pieces after a big run we went on. So I think we definitely had all the pieces we needed to have a big playoff run. And obviously the Western Conference was pretty stacked, but I think we competed with every top team in the league and beat them. So it would have been interesting to see us go into playoffs, and it's really unfortunate the way things ended.
Let's take a moment to reflect back upon your OHL careers as a whole. Okay, and Jonathan, I'll start with you. When you think back 15, 20 years from now and you talk about your OHL career, what did this league teach you? What did the OHL do for you as a player and as a person?
I think it helps you grow up really quick. It thrusts you into like a different lifestyle than you're used to. You're moving in with a different family, and you have to take a lot of responsibility once you come to the team. And for me, when I came here as a 17-year-old, even leaving, I'm now 21, I've learned a lot about the game, a lot about myself, and a lot about my teammates, and just I'm thankful for it.
Liam?
Yeah, I think the OHL just teaches you, it grows you as a person. I think you come in as a young kid and move away from home from your parents, and I think obviously you have billets, but you're definitely a little more independent than you were coming in. And I think the main thing is just the relationships you build in this league. I think for me especially, I played on 3 different teams with a lot of different people, and I still keep in touch with a bunch of them, and some of them are my best friends. So it's an awesome way to kind of obviously play hockey, but obviously meet a lot of new friends and people you'll stay in touch with for the rest of your life.
And Greg, drafted in as a teenager, you end your career as captain. When you look back at your OHL career, what will you think?
Yeah, I mean, same thing as the other two, just moving away from home like that young. It just really gives you a chance to grow on your own and like kind of build your own personality, because I mean, you're not living at home with your parents anymore. You're not really protected like that anymore. You're with a new family, and you kind of have to put a lot of trust into them to take care of you. And I think all of our billets in Kitchener were really good. So I mean, I think that's the main thing, just building as a man, I guess, now. And being 21 now, I mean, learned a lot about myself, what I can do on the ice, what I can do off the ice. I mean, just learned a lot of things. I'm really thankful for how my OHL career went.
So all 3 of you have specifically mentioned your billet family. So let's give a little love to those billet families. We'll go one by one. And Liam, let's start with you. Tell me about your billet families and what they did for you while you're here.
Yeah, I was kind of I came in one day and the next half hour I was at my new blood house, and Barb and John were unbelievable to me. I think they gave me everything, and they were just such a welcoming family. And I mean, it was pretty lucky to be a 20-year-old having your billet mom cook you every meal, and I couldn't thank them enough for all the things they did for me, and I'll definitely keep in touch with them forever.
Jonathan?
I had two billet families while I was playing here. My first one were the Walls, and they sold their house, so I ended up having to move out. But they had me for 3 years, and they did everything for me. It was that's a second family. And then I moved in with the Spears this year with Lucas File, and that was also like a great experience. I think every billet family is so welcoming, so caring. They treat you like you're one of their own, and they brought us in. They treat us like their own kids, fed us, like did everything. I'm so grateful for them.
Greg?
Yeah, I was with Rob and Vicky for 4 years. So, I mean, the season I think is around like 7 months. So I was living with them more than my parents, and for 4 years, I mean, that's a bond that I'm never gonna forget, and always gonna be talking to them. Probably like weekly, I guess, on a weekly basis. And they did so much for me. I can't thank them enough for everything they did for me and how they helped me through my life and my career.
So Greg and Jonathan, each of you played in Kitchener for the entirety of your career, and Liam, you joined us just for this past season. I want to ask you each what it means to play in Kitchener. So let's look at it this way. 10 years down the road, you've got maybe a nephew or a good friend who's getting drafted in the OHL, and they're being drafted to the Kitchener Rangers. If you could describe what it's like playing in Kitchener, what would you tell them, Greg?
Yeah, I would have nothing negative to say about playing Kitchener. I mean, all positive things. The fans are, I think, the best in the league. The facilities are really good. I had a lot of good coaches. Yeah, I mean, everything's good. If I were to tell someone in 10 years to play for an OHL team, I would definitely tell them to play for the Kitchener Rangers. It's just the best organization in the league. I have nothing bad to say about it.
Jonathan? Yeah.
For me, like, I would tell them that it's going to be like the best time of their lives. Kitchener, like on the ice, the fans are so supportive, and then off the ice, when you're just walking through the city, they know, like, the people know who you are, and they're very welcoming, and it's just a great spot to play. And for a guy that, like, I didn't know if I was going to play in the OHL, to get to play for a team like Kitchener, an organization like Kitchener, it was just so special.
Yeah, I think obviously the OHL is a very competitive and professional league, but I think Kitchener just takes it a step further. I mean, starting with the fans, it's like, feels like you're playing a mini NHL. Like, there's so many fans, they're so loud. It's a huge rink. The facilities we have are unbelievable. I think the staff, everyone just treats you like a pro here. And I think I played for some pretty good organizations, and Kitchener is just at the top of those lists. I think everything about it, you just feel special there. But you know, you got to come to play every night, and they expect you to be a pro, but they treat you like a pro as well. So it's an unbelievable place to play.
One of the things, guys, that I like to do every season with the graduating players is I like to give you an opportunity to address the fans directly. And obviously the season ended more abruptly than any playoff exit you could have imagined. So I'd like to give you guys just a chance, if you want, to give a final message to the Kitchener Rangers fans who did support you and the team during your time here. And Jonathan, we'll start with you.
I just want to say thank you for the last 4 seasons. I came in here undrafted midway through the season, and the fans took me in right away, and they watched me grow as a player and a person. They've always were interactive, always cared for me, and I just want to say thank you so much.
Liam?
Yeah, like Johnny said, I think obviously these guys are here a lot longer than I was, but I just want to thank you guys for letting in a little bit of a rival with Guelph Storm, and you guys welcomed me amazingly, and you guys were loud every night for us, and one of the best groups of fans I've ever played in front of. So I want to thank you guys for being there with us every night and making that place one of the best places to play.
Greg?
Yeah, I mean, past 4 years, I mean, probably best 4 years of my life, partially because of the fans and just so supportive, so loud on like when we're on the ice, like just like a great fan base. Just keep supporting the Rangers, and thank you guys.
All right, we'll step away from hockey just for a moment before I wrap it up with a final question for you guys. Obviously, here we are. We're doing a Zoom call. We're doing a Zoom interview instead of doing this at the rink or in person. We all know what's going on in the world and why this has been necessitated. But what are you doing to keep busy, Greg?
Been working out a lot. It's probably the main thing I do to keep busy. I mean, help my mom around the house too sometimes too. I mean, help her out. Got nothing better to do really. So just working out, help my mom around the house, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And Jonathan?
My day consists mostly of doing a workout and then maybe going for a round of golf and then basically cooking, and that's it. So there's not really much else to do. I'm becoming a good baker, so pretty elite.
And Liam?
Yeah, I think I start the day out with a workout, and then once that's over, it's kind of like these guys said, you're kind of trying to find some things to do. I mean, you're not really allowed to hang out with too many of your buddies, but since the golf course has opened up, I think I've gone 4 times, so that's something to kill some time. I've been doing a lot, and we just opened up our pool, so that's been nice to kind of have that since the weather's been nice. But yeah, it's been kind of tough it's been a little bit boring, and I mean, hopefully these guidelines chill down a little bit in the near future. Hopefully COVID stuff gets a little bit better in the world, but right now I think obviously it's just we got to sit tight and wait for things to get better.
And you and Greg are not far from each other. Have you guys golfed together yet?
No, not yet, but we've been trying to set up a little day to go.
Greg, who's the better golfer between you two?
Yeah. I mean, I think Liam is for sure, but I guess we'll have to see on the course.
All right, guys. One final question for you, and I'm going to do it a little differently than I normally do. I like to ask the overagers what your favorite highlight of your career is, wherever that, whatever that means to you. That could be something at home. That could be something on the ice. That could be something in the room. But I would like to ask you guys, give me 2 favorites. I want to know your 2 favorite moments of your OHL career. And Liam, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think my one of the 2 is, I think it's got to be winning the OHL championship that year. I mean, we did it in such a crazy way, and just the bond we built over that year, and I think a lot of people counted us out, and we kind of proved them all wrong and persevered through all that adversity, and ended up being champions. And then I'd say my second, it's got to be my first game as a Ranger. I think all through my OHL career, I spent a lot of time in the odd, and I always kind of, I'd say honestly, I dreamed about playing in a crowd like that, and it's so loud and so many fans, and to have my first game there and we had a great comeback win in overtime was just electric, and I think that kind of really proved to me how unreal it is to play in Kitchener.
That was a great game. Greg, what about you? Your 2 favorite memories in the OHL?
Yeah, I mean, I think my first one would have to be my 3rd game. I was just coming in as a 16-year-old. I mean, didn't really know too many guys. And I had a really big game. I had 5 points, and that's something I'll never forget in my life. But I think my second favorite memory is, I think, just my last season, like as a whole. Just knowing it's my last season, going through every day, just taking a bit away from the rink and a bit away from my billets home, just trying to remember how it is to be in the OHL, and I think that was my second favorite memory.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
For me personally, obviously that one night against Owen Sound in the 18-19 season was pretty big for me. That's something that I'm definitely going to remember for the rest of my life. And I think secondly was just being in the room during the 17-18 season when we were going on that deep run. Just like the guys we had in there, the amount of guys that are going to be NHL players that we had in there, and just seeing coming to the rink every day, hang out with them, watching them grow as like players, and then that helped me personally. So it was something pretty special that I'm going to remember.
Great memories across the board from all three of you. Thanks for sharing those with us. And on behalf of all of us here at Rogers TV, thanks for always taking the time with us. Thanks for some great careers. It was a pleasure to watch you play, and good luck wherever hockey takes you in the future. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Sean.